3, 2, 1. Oh my God, that's cold. Wow. Welcome back to You Betcha Radio Podcast, the coldest podcast in all the Midwest. I am Miles, the You Betcha guy, here with Ryan, the T-shirt guy. Guys, today we have a very special country music artist on, Michael Ray. It was really fun to talk to him. It's pretty much the whole podcast. The conversation was flowing, so we just let it roll for the whole podcast. We talked about Busch Light. We talked about his Honky Tonk Tuesday live videos. We talked about everything with Michael. So it's a great interview. But before we get into that interview, I got to talk to you guys about fairwaymeatmarket.com. Guys, if you love juicy, tasty, delicious meat and you like the convenience of it coming right to your door, you got to check out fairwaymeatmarket.com. Last weekend, I cooked up some beautiful ribeyes. Simple. You thaw it in the refrigerator the night before. You maybe throw a little, if you're Midwest, you throw some Lowry's.
Yep.
Salt on it for a little extra seasoning. These things don't even need seasoning. And throw them on the grill, and you got a nice juicy steak for you and your buddies or your family. Honestly, I would not be talking about it if it wasn't dad approved. Click,
approved.
Standing by the grill, clicking those tongs in the apron with your gas station sunglasses on, drinking a beer, loving life. That's what the fairwaymeatmarket.com meats are all about. And talk about a Midwest company. They are a Midwest company through and through. They cut the meats in the Midwest. They hand pick the meat. They make sure you're only getting the best, and that's what I love about them. I'm starting to think about it right now.
My mouth is watering.
I haven't eaten really much today, and now all I can think about is a fairwaymeatmarket.com ribeye steak.
Oh, God.
Which is my favorite, and so that's why they doctored up a You Betcha package. Guys, we got our own meat package.
Wow.
We have our own meat package on the website. You're going to click on the You Betcha package. It's going to come up with ribeye steaks, some filet mignons for the fancy ones of us. They're also going to have pork chops, burgers, steak burgers, private label bacon. I also had the bacon this last weekend. Maybe take the bacon grease and cook your eggs in it as well.
Man. Oh, that's such a game changer.
Maybe your hash browns even a little too. Mm-hmm. Just put that bacon grease on everything.
Why waste any of it?
That's right. And then it also comes with a side dish, which the side dish I'm going to talk about next week because the side dish is our game changer. All that comes in the You Betcha package at fairwaymeatmarket.com. And right now, if you use promo code YouBetcha with no space, YOUBETCHA, you can get it for $169.99 free shipping. It's valued at about $265. So do the quick math, carry the one. I don't know. That's a lot of savings. And so go to fairwaymeatmarket.com. Use promo code YouBetcha at your checkout on the You Betcha package, and they'll ship it right to your door. Next thing you know, you're going to be the most popular guy at the next barbecue because you just got some of the best meat there. Let's just get into the show.
I would venture to say it's almost the nectar of the gods. Back, baby, back. I want my...
Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Hello, and welcome back to episode 82 of the You Betcha Radio Podcast. I am Ryan, the T-shirt guy, and we have the brand new You Betcha fishing shirts on the website now.
Look at you in that thing, Ryan.
You guys have been asking for it. I'm really digging this fit.
It's really all about the details. We got the You Betcha up on the left breast.
We got the patch on the back.
It's got the vent in the front.
Yep.
So you're going to stay cool in this thing. Got the vent in the back. And then it's also
pits down.
This is all about the details. On the back, there's a patch that says BDG. You know what BDG stands for, Tyler? I'll tell you. beer drinking gear.
Because that's what it is.
It's what it is. It's a fishing shirt, but it's really about a shirt that you drink beer in. And I'm gonna be honest, I love drinking beer in it. So also they're on the buttons. This is where the
Fine
details come in. This was a great job by Ryan getting this shirt done. Custom made. It says, "Oh my God, that's cold" on the button. So you have to check it out on the website. They're on the website right now.
They're on the website right now as we speak, guys. We have 3 different colors. We have the gray, we have the black, and we have the royal. Custom You Betcha fishing shirts. You guys have been asking for them, so now we got them. And if you guys pick yourself up one, take a look at those fine details. Tag us at You Betcha Threads. That's our merchandise page going on right now. So go check out the website. The website last week was medium open. This week it is heavily open.
Fully stocked.
OUBetcha.com. Go check out the new fishing shirts. We might have another little treat in there for you too. Buzzing
Check it
gear.
Are you okay?
Buzzing gear.
Someone
Yeah.
get him a cough drop.
OUBetcha.com, guys. The merch is heavily open. Also, tonight we are going to be streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/OUBetcha. We have been really enjoying the Twitch game lately, and I think it's time for you guys make the leap, hop in one of the streams. It's the best way for you guys to interact with us in the chat.
Say what's up.
We always enjoy it. I'm not sure if we know what game we're playing tomorrow, but regardless, I always say B- gameplay, A+ chat. That's why we're in the stream, and that's why we love having you guys in there.
That's very, very accurate. Ryan.
Yeah. Twitch.tv/OUBetcha. We'll see you in the chat. On top of that, Tyler has been on his game with @YouBetcha Radio.
Oh, yeah.
On YouTube, he's starting from episode 1. 2 episodes a week are being uploaded from the very beginning all the way until you get caught up.
3, he says.
3 episodes.
Monday, Wednesday,
He gave
Friday,
me a
baby.
Scowl.
Wow. So now you can go binge from episode 1 to episode
83,
83,
82,
82.
80.
Well, you can binge 1 through 5 right now.
But then
Well,
you,
But
as
we
it
follow
goes, yeah.
along.
Yep.
We're going to keep doing it forever. So as long as this podcast
I
is going,
suppose.
I'll be posting to YouTube.
I mean, it'll
so-
eventually catch up if you just do the math,
Yeah.
Tyler.
Yeah, in like 10 years.
I don't think so.
That's good math.
guys, it's binge time. @YouBetcha Radio on YouTube, Instagram.
The memes is
Facebook.
where it's at, though. The
Oh,
memes
yeah.
is what make
Fire
all,
meme game.
all of this worth it. You got to check them out. You Betcha Radio on Instagram and Twitter and all that. So, Ryan,
yes,
that's enough.
Miles.
That's enough. There's enough bullshit.
We got to
here.
get into it.
Michael Ray is on a podcast today. This is our first country artist. What a great one to start with. He's born in Florida, but I mean,
He's
Nashville
Midwest
guy.
at
we
heart,
are
you
all
can tell.
Midwest people
Yeah.
at
Yep.
heart, no matter
Yep.
where. You can just tell. And he has had some #1 hits. Kiss You in the Morning.
Yep.
What's the other ones?
Drink a little more, think a little less.
Drink a little
Oh.
more. Drink a
It's so
little
good.
more. Think a little less.
It's
Yep.
so good.
Nailed
If
it.
you, the people probably thought that was a clip it from his.
You guys, he's
song.
not on yet. That was just Miles.
Yeah, he's not on yet, guys. That was just me. So I know you got confused there for a sec. He's a great dude, and he's got some new music coming out, which we talk about. And honestly, this was a cool interview. I love getting into country music. I think country music is just beer drinking music.
Yep.
So not only can Ryan be drinking beer in his beer drinking gear,
Ooh.
he can be listening to country music as well. So that's enough talk out of us. Let's just get into the interview. Guys, Michael Ray. All right, guys, we would like to welcome on to the podcast country music artist Michael Ray. This guy has 3 #1 singles. You may know him from Kiss You in the Morning, Think a Little Less, The One That Got Away. I love all of those songs, and he's recently started his Honky Tonk Tuesday live format video where he just plays music for the fans. And so Michael's here with us today. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming on with us. We were just chatting a little bit beforehand that your Honky Tonk Tuesday is the best way for you to have an excuse to drink on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was like, how can we? Not that I wasn't going to be doing it anyway, especially at 17, but it just makes you feel better when you have a reason. So, and we were at this time where like nobody really knew what was going on because I think my last show was March 13th in Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
And we were told it was going to be 2 weeks, just get through this 2 weeks and we'll be good. And then 2 weeks turned into, well, April, we should be back by May. And then May turned into where we're at now.
Yeah.
So I was like, how many times can people really hear us sing our own shit on every day?
Yeah.
And I love traditional country music. I love honky-tonk music. I'm a product of the 90s country music, and I thought, you know what? I want to hear it. I'm not getting it. Fans aren't getting it. Let's just have like a reason to at least an hour a week where we can shut off all the stuff going on and all the stuff in the news and just put your laptop up and put your computer up with your family, your friends, whoever. And, I have some 90s guests on or some current guests on. And it's just fun, man. It's kind of just fly by the seat of the pants and just, like y'all are doing, man, just having fun and taking people away from reality for a little while.
That's right. And you say fly by the seat of your pants. I was checking out one of your Honky Tonk Tuesdays, and you're right. But I love it because it's you and it's who you are as a person. It's written nice and raw, and I love that. I think the audience loves it. How often does it happen? I was watching one where the first song you're going to play, it was Rodeo by Garth Brooks.
Oh, I forgot that. Oh, my God. Oh, dude, it happens more than you know, man, because all right, so we're in the middle of making this record, too. So we're making this album. We're making it during quarantine, so it's already kind of weird enough as it is. We're not, like, able to be in the studio with each other, so we're all in different places, and just everything's all chaotic. And so I was like, I need to learn some new songs, and it was like Monday. And so I was like brushing over songs on Monday, and I grew up on Garth. My first concert was Garth. I used to cover rodeo, in bars, and I went to hit that, and maybe I started with the Busch Light a little early. I don't know, but I went to start, and I was like, oh damn, I don't remember any of this. I don't know how this starts at all, and I was already committed, and you're already live. So I was like, well, this is live. This is about as live as you get.
The best is you're strumming, and you could tell like you had gone through your full intro progression, and then you started again, and you didn't say you forgot right away. And I was like, this isn't right. What's going on? And then you just full blown.
It's hard to dance off stage like Ashley Simpson when you have the guitar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't just dance off. So, but luckily some fans hit me up. With the first lyric, and we got through it.
I think that's why people love tuning into stuff like that, is they do get the real side of you. And once in a while, you're a human. You might forget the first line of a song, even though it's kind of important.
Even though it's a pretty big song.
For sure. And so you had brought up, and I know Ryan had a question about this, but you're talking about playing in bars, right? That's how a lot of artists start. Mm-hmm. They start playing gigs at bars. Ryan, you had a question about some small town bar stuff, right?
Yeah, so we kind of, probably like 6 to 8 months ago, we really dove into the small town bar bit. And every small town bar you go to, you see the high school football schedule on the bathroom wall, and you see the mini popcorn machine over in the corner. You kind of starting the career off and probably playing a lot of small town bars at 16, 17 years old, what's that one small town bar bit that you can always take away and say, like, I know I'm in a small town bar when I see this?
When you see they have the drinking game in the back where like you can, you have like the line and you have the quarter, and if you shoot the quarter in the pitcher, and I think that they put the pitcher so far behind the bar, they're not gonna have to give you that free shot of Fireball. You know? But then occasionally you get a band of degenerates like mine who happen to have incredible aim when they're drunk and go into dive bars and crush those games. But those little bar games to see if you can get a free shot, those are always key sign that you're in a really good place. Those are always the spots that seem to be the most fun. We try to find those in little towns.
Yeah, for sure. And what we call that aiming juice or aiming fuel is what you're talking about. as you get more and more intoxicated, you're better at shooting. I think we're on the same page there. Let's talk a little bit about your roots. You're from Florida. That's where you're born. You've been living in Nashville. And your family is a big part of your life, and your grandpa, I know, was a big inspiration for you, and you named your second album after him. Just talk a little bit about your relationship with your grandpa and how he kind of helped you get started.
Yeah, he got the whole family started. My family had a band. That's what got me into it. Was my dad, my grandpa, my uncle, my cousins had this band before I was born, till I was probably 5 or 6 or something like that. But my grandfather was just the backbone of the music of the family. Like, he still to this day, man, even if somebody doesn't play in my family, there's a guitar, there's a bass, there's a random dobro in somebody's closet that has been touched since '87. But it's all because of my grandfather. His love of music, but especially country music, was just like no other. He learned guitar, if I remember right, in the Army when he was stationed in Alaska, and it's kind of a thing to do, I guess, a pastime, I don't know, but he just kind of fell in love with it and became a great lead player. So fast forward to the band kind of splitting up because of just life and everything else going on. My parents got divorced when I was 8, and music always has a way of entering your life. It's always been a part of my life because I was born into a family that played around town, and they always had me on stage. But it always seems to find you when you need it. And my grandfather and my grandmother and I were headed to Cherokee, North Carolina, to my one of my uncle's properties up there, and just to chill by the creek and hang out. And my grandpa taught me my first 3 chords, and I don't know if he thought it was just the right timing, because if I don't know if any of y'all have ever gone through any of that, or anybody that's going to be listening has gone through a divorce at a young age. It's a confusing time, no matter what age you are, but especially at that age. And so music just kind of stepped in, man, and I was bit by the bug, dude. And me and my grandpa were already like this, and then my dad played and he was lead singer, so he taught me a lot of stuff, and it was just off to the races after that, man. I that's all I wanted to do. And every Thursday night, Friday night. So in Florida we have, I don't think it's not bad to call snowbirds, right? Snowbirds? Yeah.
No, snowbirds is totally fine.
Okay, yeah.
I think we've actually even said that term on this podcast before. Yeah.
Oh, so okay, good. Yeah. All right. So when the snowbirds come down, is when like all the moose lodges and everything else starts getting packed up in Florida, and everybody's down there playing music and stuff. So a lot of my grandpa's bands were these older men and women that were retired that were moving down to Florida for the winter. So wintertime, man, I was playing Thursday night, Friday night, sometimes twice on Saturday and Sunday, and it could be from trailer parks to community centers to, we used to play assisted living homes, man. It was like just wherever we could go. So.
You were living it.
Yeah, and I think at that, anyone that's in the spot where you're at with #1 singles and touring and doing stuff like that, I think that what we all see is you now, but I think that there's a lot of hard work that goes in behind the scenes of playing 5 shows in a matter of 4 days or 3 days or whatever that kind of has laid the foundation to where you are now. So I think that's super cool to go from performing at assisted living centers to performing at the Grand Ole Opry. I
don't know how those two ever connected, man. But they were both on my path.
Yeah, tell us about the Opry, man. That's really just an awesome thing as an artist to be able to play there. Just tell us kind of how that all happened and what your experience was.
For me, the Opry, because to go back to my grandfather, he taught me so much about the Grand Ole Opry. He taught me about the history of it, the importance of it, the importance of the Opry being cherished and passed on as generations of members pass on, and they, bless the next generation of members. How important that is, and we used to watch little VHSs of Minnie Pearl and Stream Bean and Roy Acuff and Grandpa Jones and all these older Opry members. So the Opry to me is the pinnacle. We get asked a lot, like, what's your favorite place to play? And there's so many incredible places that bring so much different things to the table, from Red Rocks to, wherever else, a Watershed, or, to places on the East Coast.
Yep.
But there's nothing like standing on the Opry stage. And there's nothing like being backstage. There's nothing like stepping on that circle. I've been able to play it 57 times now. And every time, man, it's the same feeling. And you don't forget that first Opry day, April 24th, 2015. 2015. I look great for my age. 2015 was the best, most incredible moment, man. Just to have family there, my dad there, people from my hometown there. Just every time is like the first time, and you get to represent not only yourself but country music when you step on that circle, and there's just nothing like it.
Yeah, I believe that. It's just like with anything. There's the tradition in country music, I think, is what somewhat holds country music together as well. which I actually leads into a little bit more of like a serious question of, I'm interested just to hear what you have to say of, you say you grew up on 90s country, and I actually think like right now country music, there's kind of a thing going on where it's the people who are angry at all the new country that's getting put out in, there's too much pop in it. And then you have the 90s country people. What do you think the kind of current state of country is in? Is it going through a growing phase? Like what have you seen in your experience?
Yeah, it's funny. I think it's a question that's always going to be there. I think it's the growth of music. I think, you got to look back at when Hank Sr. came to town. A lot of people didn't want him here.
Yeah.
He was this rockabilly. What is this dude singing "Tear in My Beer"? What is this? You know, and he was rowdy and kind of doing his own thing. That also happened when the Outlaws record came out, which is Jesse Coulter, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, and Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
And that whole era. And again, they weren't wanted. Wasn't they're bad. They're singing. They're cranking up too loud. Willie Nelson grew his hair out, dude, and starts openly smoking pot. What is going on?
Yeah.
But that era was what a generation of kids grew up on. And then there's different ways, or different genres, not ways, different genres of music that we were all brought up to because of our parents, or brought up on because of our parents. And I think that conversation is always going to be something, what is country, what isn't country. I would tell you this, man, I've had the opportunity to travel the world, and I've seen the most countryest, what's from down to my part of Florida to Massachusetts to California to Australia to Europe. I mean, I think country's a state of mind and in your heart. For me, the country music I lean more towards is the more 90s traditional side of country music, because that's what I was brought on to, and that's what I'm going to tend to kind of go to. But to kind of answer your question another way, the one thing that I do wish we would do better as a genre is honor those men and women while they're around. I feel like the one thing that we could do a whole lot better is not wait until we get the word that a Charlie Daniels has passed or a Joe Diffie has passed to then really start paying attention to the catalog and to what these artists, these men and women, have done. Because without them, without the Alabamas, without the Dolly Partons, without the Trisha Yearwoods, without the Dina Carters, the Kenny Chesneys, but I'll go all the way back to Charlie Daniels, Joe Diffie, all those 90s guys, Tracy Lawrence, Clint Black, Garth Brooks, Randy Travis. There's interviews, Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson, all these guys, there wouldn't be them if it wasn't for Randy Travis.
Yep.
And I feel like the one thing that we could do is just really make sure that these men and women know that they're not forgotten, because radio, they might not be played on radio as much, or they might not be at an award show as much. And I think they get that. But I just have been very fortunate to become friends with a lot of these men and women that I feel like that's the one thing we could do better is let them know that without them, we wouldn't have picked up a guitar and moved to Nashville if it wasn't for those songs.
For sure.
Yeah, I love that. I think that, and I think that it's one of those things where I think that music is about, if it makes you feel good, if you listen to the song, it doesn't matter if it's got a little bit of pop in it. It doesn't matter if it's got a whole lot of twang in it. It doesn't matter if it feels like it's from the 90s. I think that music should just be enjoyed, and if you like it, you like it, man. I don't think I think there's too much like judgment that's passed on the new stuff and all of that stuff, and so I just think that everything has its place, and it takes all kinds, and like you said, we wouldn't have new music without the stuff from the past that laid the foundation. And so I think that what you said summed it up perfectly, and you crushed that for sure.
Yeah, thank you, man. I think that I think too, like we're in a place. I was just talking to a radio rep of mine today about how genres now are really being blurred, and the lines are being blurred. And and if you look at that as from an artist or a songwriter standpoint, and view it as, man, this is really cool, because now you got guys that are literally breaking barriers and breaking genres, like like Kane Brown, who's country, who's just as country as he is with with the pop or other stuff that he likes to do, but he can do a little bit of everything, you know.
Yep.
And he's kind of breaking these genres down, you know, to where now if people are listening to sometimes it'd be like that, maybe they don't know who a Michael Ray is in the country world, you know. And so for me, you know, these artists that are taking these risks or taking these chances or doing what they feel like they should do, that's helping bring people into our genre. You know, you've had those collabs, man, for years, those different genre collabs. I just think the line's a little more blurred than normal, but like you said, man, as long as it makes you feel good and want to drink Busch Light, let's do it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. So we'll get to you're making new music, which we'll get to here towards the end. Here, we'll talk about the new stuff that you're working on. But one other question I had is just, what else do you like to do for fun? You know, obviously you work hard on what you do as your job. I mean, this is your job. This is part of your life, even if it sometimes doesn't feel like your job and just having fun. What else do you like to do?
Man, anything outdoors, side by side, riding my Jeep through some trails, hunting, fishing, anything outdoors is really my thing. I think the more we've been on the road and I've had less time to do that, the more I'm, especially during this time off, kind of been forced to really realize that I need to make time for more of that during those touring years and when we get back on the road. But anything outdoors, man, anything I do with my family, build a bonfire, just pass guitars around. I love to grill out. That's pretty much about it, man. If I can just be around some friends and family and build a bonfire and have some drinks and crank some old country music up, you ain't going to meet a happier dude. So.
I like that.
Yeah. And we all like to hunt and stuff like that. Do you have a good it doesn't have to be a crazy long one. Do you got any good like hunting story that you could fill us in on?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There, his face lit up on that one.
I got a couple that I can't, but no, I'm just man, we had this we were doing this turkey hunt years ago, and it benefited wounded warriors, and so a lot of wounded warriors came out and turkey hunted with some country artists. It was me, Red Akins, Low Cash, and a few others were out there. I think Daryl Singletary was out there at the time, who we missed today very bad. Anyway, it was just a really, really, really cool trip, right? And my guide, we're the only people that didn't see shit, right? For like the first 3 days, we didn't see.
Sounds a lot
turkey.
like us, yeah.
I think Rhett got 2. Like that's how bad we weren't seeing anything. Like there are people come back with multiples, and we ain't never had one.
Yeah.
So by this point now, my guide is now it's a pride thing.
Yep.
You know, like now I'm having to calm him down. I'm like, hey man, you know, I grew up hunting turkeys. Like it's fine if we don't get one. You know, as long as everybody else got one. That happens. You know, that's the part of. That's one of the best things I love about turkey hunting is that call, is that hunt and that chase, and your heart when you get them talking back, that heart racing, you know, it just makes your blood go, you know. So I'm like, we're good. He's like, no, tonight we're going back. So I'm like, all right, you know. So we go back out, and I'm ready, and I'm noticing that we're going through some shit we ain't gone through. And I'm like, I ain't really saying anything. So I'm carrying, and we're crawling, and we're going through, and he's pushing a fence part up, and I'm like, man, I don't remember any of this, you know, but I'm gonna go with his gut. And as I'm asking him, hey man, have we hunted here before? He goes, get in the tree line, get in the tree line. So I get in the tree line, and he runs back and he lays down. And he goes, about 15 seconds. Sure enough, I don't know where the hell we were, but this turkey came walking out.
There you go.
And it was the closest shot I've ever had in my entire life. And it just stood there. It was like he called it and set it up and paid it some money, like just to end itself. It stood there, and I had my gun up, and I looked over at him, and I was like, are you serious? He's like, down. All right. Pow! Knocked it down, and I mean, nothing ever came out of it, but I don't know where the heck we were at. I never asked any questions, but we ended up getting the turkey out.
When pride is on the line in that situation, a guide will literally resort to plan D, E, or F to get you what you needed.
He had a vision, man. There was determination in his eyes. I was not going to question.
What I would have done if I were you, shot it, and then I looked at him and been like, why didn't you bring me here a few days ago?
Yeah.
You're holding out on me
all this time, bro. Yeah,
God, why'd you do that?
We could have been doing this 3 days ago.
Yeah, that's a great story. I think that everyone's got something like that, and I love that. And I agree. The busier you get, the less you think you don't have time for stuff like that. But then those are some of the stuff that you talk about forever. Not necessarily all the work that you did, it's the memories that you make. For me, it's up at deer camp, all the stupid jokes that get made and all the inside jokes you got with your cousins and uncles and stuff like that. And so,
that's what makes the world go round right there, man. That's what, for me, I would say that's, if I don't have those moments, then I don't have the need to work as hard.
Yep.
If I can get those time, then I wouldn't feel the need to bust my ass like I do. But I do it because I can make those times happen. And fortunately, to have success in what I'm doing, we can do some other things that we weren't able to do back in the day. And so that's why those moments with friends and family sitting around a fire, man, and telling lies or whatever, just giving each other hell on stuff, man. That's for me. That's what my dad always said growing up. Find the thing that makes your tank refill, and for me, that's it.
Right.
Yeah. And I think the stuff that can also fill you up too, alongside those types of memories, are, and I've seen other musicians talk about it, but the moment when you're on stage and the crowd is feeling it and you're feeling it and it just, everything is going right, that's got to be one of those feelings too, of moments that you remember of, God, the crowd was just into it tonight, and I was money. I didn't forget the lines to Rodeo. I'm not gonna let you live that down.
Fair,
so yeah,
fair. Hey, I deserve it. I should have hit off. I should have ended it. Restarted the live stream back then.
But tell us what you kind of miss about going on tour, and that you haven't done a show since March. And I know that's why you started Honky Tonk Tuesday, but yeah.
Man, it's there's so much of it that you really do miss. It's your lifestyle. I've been on the road of some sort since I was 17 years old, and touring pretty heavy since 2021 in a van, doing whatever we could, playing any dive bar, with that popcorn machine in the corner that we could possibly make, and that would book us, and sleeping in the van and doing all that stuff. So it really does become your lifestyle, and you kind of get adjusted to that constant go of things, and that being on, and constantly just kind of, you don't allow your mind to go to a tired place. You just go to wherever you need to go, and for it to be slowed down like this really puts a magnifying glass on the fact that I didn't realize how much I needed that bus call at midnight on Wednesday night, and get in that bus and be a band that's fortunate enough to be on a damn tour bus. And if you're on a tour, that's even cooler. And you get to be a part of something way bigger than you, and you get to be a part of people's lives that you may never even meet, man, but they love that song is a part of their every morning with their kids, or their date night with their girl, or their whatever. There's a connection to that song that they'll forever ever come and see you. And I miss my band. I miss being able to hop on that bus and just those long rides, and the Mario Kart, and the beer drinking, and just the time with your buddies, and to kind of that bus stop and watching my band and crew go straight into to kind of like sticking that flag in the ground, and this is our campsite for the day, and being able to, man, all right, dude, the one thing of a show that I wish I could bottle up for y'all to feel, for anybody to feel, and whenever I come back out to where y'all are at, we can have live shows. When y'all come to the show, I want y'all to stand next to me before it happens, because there's nothing like when those lights go down before you go on. Because right before then, everybody's getting their drinks, they're doing their thing, especially if you're in an arena.
Yep.
When those lights go down, the energy in the crowd is strong and electric. But there's something about that, man. I wish we could bottle it up and sell it and make people feel a lot better. Because it's just you can't continue to have a bad day after that moment, because that crowd just erupts and that music starts hitting, and it's it's go time. It's it's your football game, and it's your time to win them over. And it's just that moment is one of the things I miss the most, on top of being able to hear those fans sing that song back to you. That's every artist's dream, is for people to care enough that they come to the show and sing it back to you.
Well, and I wasn't gonna say I was jealous of you being able to perform in music in front of other people, but now I have to after you say that. I got a little chills thinking about the lights coming down.
It's all right, dude. I forget the words, so it's fine.
Yeah. No, man. I tell these guys all the time. I'm like, I have zero music ability. And that's like the one thing that I would want to do is get up on stage and perform a song. And so I'm like, well, I guess I'll just have to live through everyone else and go be the guy in the front row with 3 beers in my hand and singing along.
Dude, if you know should have been a cowboy or I like it, I love it. Bring those 3 beers on stage and we'll be good to go.
There we go.
Yes.
I love
we got
that.
backup microphones, man. We'll get Mom on stage. We'll make it happen.
Hell yeah.
If that actually
Your
happens,
dreams are my dreams now, Miles. I'm gonna make it happen.
You have
for
no
Yes.
idea how excited Miles is right now. He's giddy like a little kid.
we can end the interview. This is all we needed. God, yeah, and it's just one of those things that, like, when you play sports, you know, the crowd cheer and all that stuff, it's just something that's why you do all the hard work behind the scenes. That's why you travel everywhere. It's for that one moment when the lights come down and you got that rush of adrenaline. I think that's so cool. The music talent thing is, I say, for those who can't sing, they podcast, and that's why I'm here today. So I got no musical talent, so that's why I just talk forever on a podcast. I got to make up for it somehow. Ryan, you had some more questions for him too, right?
Yeah, I was so Kiss You in the Morning, unbelievable song. Listen to that on replay. What I want to know from you, Michael, is leading up to that week of dropping that song, and for how big it actually became, what was that like for you? The week leading up to it, the day it released, and then the couple days, the week after, when that song just started to take off.
Yeah, it was a weird time, man. I was on radio tour, which for anybody listening that doesn't know, radio tour, we literally get in vans, cars, airplanes, but we go to every radio station and we sit in their performance room. Sometimes it's an office, sometimes it's just a front lounge, and play acoustic and pretty much try to get on their radio station, and hopefully that they believe in what we're bringing into them. So I got very, very fortunate with Kiss You in the Morning, and radio gravitated towards it the way that they did and wrapped their arms around it. The week leading up was such an emotional week because my grandfather, Amos, had a heart attack the day that we were actually filming the first video for Kiss You in the Morning, and I had to stop it and fly to Florida. And so he ended up passing away before we did this big show in Orlando with all of radio. My Warner Brothers, my label, flew all radio down, and it was like the big kickoff. It was a big launch. We were about to release the first single, and like I said, to go back, when you play it, when you kind of start learning and you learn the music, and it's with this mentor of yours who happens to be your grandfather, there's parts of life that you kind of go, well, he'll just be there with me. You know, you don't really think of what could. And so just kind of luckily coming from a tight family, you get to know what people want when they pass away. And I was really, really close with him, and I knew that he wanted me to play that show, man. So it was ended up being one of those nights that you were talking about, man, where the crowd's on and you're on and the band's on and, you know, the bartenders are on. Everybody's just, there's nothing that could go wrong in this night at all. And it was that night. And so the week of, man, was such an emotional week, because here it is, days beforehand, he's a part of my story, part of everything, and now he's gone. But knowing that his quote would be, why, you know, the show goes on, man, what are you doing?
Right.
Why would you don't do this? You know? So kind of, like I said, fortunately being from a family where I felt like I knew my grandpa better than most, and I knew that he wanted to go on, and so thank God he did. And it ended up being one of the most, looking back on it, probably one of the most coolest weeks of my life, minus that part of it, obviously.
Right.
Just as far as the emotions of it and everything, was just a whirlwind. One of those things where you're like, I don't even know what to feel right now, but we did it. You know, we did it, and I know he's looking down and he's with us. So.
Yeah, maybe he had a little hand in helping you out, I think, is probably what happened.
I think he did, yeah. I think he was trying out some powers. That's what I told Dad. I was like, because we broke some records with that song, and I was like, he's trying some stuff out. So, You
love
can do
that.
it on the next one coming out. That'd be great too.
Yeah.
Grandpa.
Yeah, I love
Hey, well,
that.
Throw one down for me, man. Yeah,
I think we'll all talk to him for you, see if he can help you
yeah
out.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you had mentioned that he was a mentor of yours. I know that you also worked very closely with John Rich from Big and Rich.
Mm-hmm.
You won a TV show. It was at the Next.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what the whole show name was, but you won the show, and he kind of became a mentor for you. Talk about your relationship with him.
Yeah, man. You know, that show was such a weird thing because we were out on tour, like I said, and we were actually in South Carolina. Excuse me, my manager at the time called me and he's like, "Hey man, there's this TV show that they found videos that fans were taking and posting and they want you on the TV show." And I was like, "Man, I don't know what to do," because I grew up kind of in the mindset of like you make it bar by bar, fan by fan, even though social media was nothing at the time, especially nothing like it is now. So it was a whole lot harder to do it when you are going fan to or bar to bar. But
Yep.
He was like, "Well, man, let's just talk to him and see what it is. There's no bad publicity if you can get on a TV show for a while, as long as it makes sense." And so we agreed to do it, and it was just one of those things in your path. I feel like God gives you that kind of helps you spring up a few rungs in the ladder, and kind of helps you speed up a little bit. And,
Yep.
that was that for me, man. And we ended up winning it, and because of John and Warner Brothers, I got my record deal with Warner Brothers from it. And the cool thing and one of the great things with John is not only have him and I wrote hit songs together, but he's just such a great business guy. He's a great artist, all around, somebody that is a very smart guy, and I'm glad I have him in my corner, and somebody that has really helped me out a lot. And so he's that friend that you might go a couple of months without talking to, but you see him and it's like no time has passed, and he's that guy that's always a call away, man. So I'm fortunate that he's a part of my story.
Yeah, he sounds like what I would say just a true professional through and through.
Absolutely,
on
man.
all
He's
aspects.
one of the most talented dudes I've ever met. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you brought up a little bit writing songs with him. I'm so curious, and we'll kind of transition here into the new music that you're going to be putting out here soon. What is kind of your process when you're putting together, trying to figure out what you're going to put out for a single, putting together an album? Like I am so curious as to what different people's method or their madness is. I know when we're coming up with video ideas, it's like sometimes you come up with a good idea when it's 2 a.m. and you're watching Netflix, or it's you actually have to sit down and brainstorm. What's your process when you're putting together a song or an album to eventually we all hear it in our headphones?
Yeah, man, it's from my process. Kind of, this one's been different. I'm using a different producer on this record, and with this next record coming out, I've really taken a lot of. Well, me. I can't just say me. I've been very fortunate with my team and with Warner and my management team and everybody involved in my team to be able to help me make something a vision that I wanted to do since I came to town, which is make a record like this. And I feel like the years of growing, I'm very, very proud of what we had and what we built. But I always felt like something was missing, and I think. This is the record. This is the sound that I moved to Nashville to do.
Yep.
And so with this album, I've been thinking about this album for years, to be honest with you. And so I knew what we needed. I knew that I needed fans to know who I am with this record. And what I hope fans get out of this album is I want it to be a record that my buddies back home can drive around back roads to, that people can dance in their kitchen to, that people can be on their boat to. And in the middle of all of that, it takes them away for a little while, but they also get to feel like they know who I am a little better, which I felt haven't done in the best in the last 2 albums. And so this record, I knew I wanted, we got a song on there that really takes you down this Florida swamp, Jerry Reed just kind of feel of a moonshine story of a pastor in an old white church, the church that I grew up in Cassia, Florida. And so I think it's kind of like a puzzle as you're writing songs and you have ideas. You said like being up at 2 a.m. and all of a sudden something happens. I had this song idea that my buddy said at 3 a.m. and he was just having conversations about a totally different thing. But he said something that sparked an idea, so I wrote that down, and we cut it last week, and it's going to be on my new album.
That's cool.
And so it's little things like that. You just always kind of keep your ears open for. Sometimes it's ideas as far as the writing process goes. A lot of times for me, I come up with like an idea or something and then bring it to the guys I'm writing with, or they do the same, vice versa. But I think as you're laying out the record, the more you cut, it's obviously more easy to see the pieces you're needing for your puzzle. But when we're in the beginning stages, it's fun, man, because it's like
anything goes.
You don't have anything. Anything goes, you know. So you just kind of start writing and go for it. So I know everybody's a little different, but for me, that's kind of just my process of as far as my songwriting goes, is mainly the idea first and then work from it from there.
Yeah. What's funny for us is a lot of our videos are about observing how just the human people act and react to certain situations. And so I was actually at a meeting this morning, and one of the guys was like, oh man, I got to watch what I'm going to say, or I'm going to end up on one of your videos. You're going to be making fun of me. So I understand that it can come from pretty much anywhere, and it's cool when it comes from a buddy at 3 a.m. I think that's a cool story for sure.
Well, I think too, a significant part about the new music that you're coming out with, Michael, is that, you know, people look at certain songs and certain music that brings them back to a certain time in life, right? And with you know, the world as it is now, people are going to be able to resonate with your new music at a time where they maybe needed it the most. You know, we've had people comment on our videos saying, hey, this is the laugh that I needed when I'm sitting at home just waiting to get out of the house. And I think you'll notice a lot of people will start doing that too with the songs you're coming out with, and they'll really be able to resonate with it at a time it was perfect timing for them to hear this kind of stuff.
Man, I appreciate that, and it's what a cool thing that we all get to be a part of, man. That we get to be able to not only take ourselves away what we love to do, but we get to bring others with us, man. I think that's the biggest blessing of what we all get to do, whether it's the podcast world or singing world or acting or whatever, man. Being able to be there for everybody during these times where all of us are going, what in the hell's going on? Yeah. You know, what do we do? Yeah. What's true? What's right? What's this?
I think that's a good song title right there. What the hell is going on?
I know, I need to write that down. I'll put Miles down right now.
Yeah, just put me on one of the writers. I don't need any money from it. Just put me down as one of the writers.
And they say a word gets a third, man. So we got you.
I like that.
Yeah. So tell us about the new single that you're going to be coming out with here soon.
Yeah, the new single drops. We're actually we're doing the photos and the video this weekend, and so it's it's a song. I grew up a big Gary Allan fan. He was a big influence for me growing up. Also was Gary Stewart, and again, a lot of this music you're going to hear on this record will have a lot of that throwback feel to it. I feel like a lot of people will hear the influences in this record more clearly than the other ones before. So it kind of has a mixture of those two, and it's just it's a good feel honky tonk 2-step feel song, you know, and it's called Whiskey and Rain, and we're excited to get it out. It was one of the first songs we recorded for the album in quarantine, and we cut it with the band, everybody just completely in different places, and it all worked out, man, and it's, you can't tell the difference, and I'm excited, man. I never try to be the guy that's always like, oh, this is my best stuff yet, but for the first time saying it, I truly feel confident that this is the best body of work I've put together.
That's awesome. Was it weird cutting it all in different places, all remotely like that?
Yeah, it was at first, just because, like, normally we're there and everybody's in the room, and y'all know how it is. It's like there's nothing like creating when you can be in person with people. Like this. I'm glad we have it for this, like this, but this ain't normal. Like this talking to the screen isn't normal. So I was a little worried, man. But then again, it goes to show you just how talented these musicians are in Nashville, and how great, Ross and the other producers that are doing the same thing. It's not just me cutting a record like this. It's all of Nashville's doing it.
Yep.
And so it just again tips the hat to how talented these people are, to be able to cut not just because it's not like a demo. I mean, this is something people are going to hear on the radio. This is a song that's going out to the world. We need this to be perfect, and we're going to trust that everybody's going to do it right. And we have they have the right sound quality to be able to get it to Ross, so we can get it right. And you can't tell the difference, man. And so when I heard the track, I think all my nerves went away. But even before I put my vocals on. So if anybody wondering, we kind of we build the band, build the music first, but band makes the music first, and then my producer gets that all together, and then you go do the vocals. And so when I heard that track before we did the vocals, I knew that we were good. So
there you go.
It took all the stress away, but it was a little nerve wracking, just wondering if we would be able to recreate what you can create in person, all in different areas. So.
Yeah. So I got a question about, the relation of COVID and country music. You look at restaurant industry, it is forever changed because now they realize that they can do delivery and they don't have to put as much pressure on having people come into their restaurant. They can deliver their food. How do you think COVID is going to affect the country music industry from here on out?
Yeah, I mean, it's right now I think it's a scary thing to think, just a weird thing to think about. I guess this whole year has been a scary, uncertain year. A lot of changes for everybody's happening, like you said, and a lot of major businesses are being shooken by this. I think the restaurant world, I think you're right. I think they have probably seen that, but within time, we're gonna get better.
Right.
Within time, you're gonna want to get out of the house, and within time, hopefully we can get this to where it is just a flu, where it's not what it is now. In this pandemic, and if we can get to that point, then I think the restaurants open back up. As we go, there's just I'm excited to see all the people trying to do things in the cars and all this stuff, and I saw where they're doing social distancing. My hope is that we get to where we can find a cure for this or find whatever it is, so we can get back to doing what we're all put on this earth to do, and that's to be together. Yeah. And the one thing that brings us all together is music. And so I think what's difficult with what's going on right now is it's hard to be together when you're stuck in your cars, and that vibe of being at a show has to be different. I don't know. I haven't been to one, so I could be completely wrong, but
well, and I think it's one of those things that doesn't even necessarily have to be a negative impact. I think that some of the positive, if you're going to take a bad situation and look at the positives, I think that it's allowed us to see artists like yourself and other country artists and in all genres. You guys have gotten a lot more active on your social medias and interacting with people and shown a different side of you, doing your Honky Tonk Tuesday lives and all of that. It's going to be weird, I think, when it's all over, to go back to doing normal stuff, and you're like, well, I still like doing the Honky Tonk Tuesdays. Like, like I don't have time for it now, but I want to do it. So I think that even just in a positive light of what has improved is just more and more different sides to people are showing up and showing kind of that real raw side, and I love seeing that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, man. I think if, like you said, the only thing we can do in this time is look for the silver lining and whatever it is, and try to make the most out of this situation. And whether that's you get to be home more, or in our situations, not only are we home more, but we're able to be able to write a whole lot more. So I think the songs that are going to come out of this are going to be incredible, man. I really do. I think the records that are coming out of this are going to be incredible. I think it's caused a lot of people, if you are going to look at the positive of it, when your world gets completely stopped like the entertainment world has, you have nothing left to do but to look into yourself at that moment, because you're not getting that instant gratification 3 or 4 nights a week. You're not in that busy state of mind all the time. Your world is just completely slowed down. So I agree with you, man. I think if you do look at the positive of it, I think we're going to really see some killer music come out of this. And obviously, country music has CMA Fest. That's so many things throughout the year of us giving back to our fans, which is the only genre that does that. And so our fans are obviously number one priority to us. And as soon as we can get to where we know their safety is there and they're okay, I hope it's not long after that we can get to packing 50,000 crazy people in,
Yeah.
South Carolina or Watershed and not have this hanging over us. But I have faith that we're going to find a way to connect, and I think that's what we've all done, whether that be over social. But man, I'm ready for some people interaction. Man. I'm about to lose it.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm sick of looking at Ryan every single day.
I hear it all the time. Yep.
I don't know. I didn't realize how much I hated his face until we started. No, I'm just kidding.
You don't realize how long 24 hours is until you have all 24 hours.
Yeah. You also don't realize how bad Ryan's beard is and how he can't grow any facial hair until you stare at him long enough.
Yeah,
here.
and we just let it ride. Baby.
I think you should grow out a beard. I think you need to get some scruff going, some more scruff.
Mine grows out. Dude, my whole everything grows out and up. This hair don't grow down. It's an illusion of the lights and the shadows. It looks like shit.
All right, fine.
I can't grow like yours, man. That's a man beard, Miles. You got a man beard.
You heard it here. Michael Ray said I have a man beard.
Yeah, you should grow yours out.
Me, I last winter I had it down pretty good. I usually now is the time when I start growing it again for deer hunting season. Keep that face warm when I'm sitting in the deer stand. So my rest of my family doesn't really like it. My mom wants me to shave it off immediately, but you know what, Mom? Don't worry about it, is what I say.
Not now, Mom.
Yeah.
and the day that you shaved off that deer hunting beard, I literally didn't know who was walking in the door.
I had no chin. It was the weirdest thing you've ever seen.
Whenever you do have a buddy that you're used to seeing with a full beard and they're gone, it does look like they have no jawline.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What happened to your
thing.
chin? Yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on. We had a great time. You said that I could come up and sing a bunch of songs with you at a concert.
Bro,
I think
come
you
up
said.
And sing some 90s country with me, dude. We'll make that happen. You just bring the beer. I got it.
All right, I'll bring a 30 rack of Busch lattes up there. That's the one thing last I got to ask. Are you a Busch Light drinker?
So, me and my buddies.
Oh, no.
So, Busch Light. There was a moment in my life where we were drinking so much of that stuff. If we stopped, they'd have to lay off a late shift. we were paying for the lights, and still that's the beer we bring out on the road. It's the best beer to day drink too. It's the best beer to shotgun before the show. And I'm not just saying that. So we used to call them in Eustis. We'd fill our coolers up, and if we ever get caught never drinking before we were supposed to, we would.
Yeah, you never had a beer before you were 21. No, you never did.
That's irresponsible and stupid.
Yeah.
We had a cooler full of bluegills, and so we called them bluegills. Back in Eustis, and I've heard a couple. I haven't really heard it said much, so I don't know who started that or what. But I'm gonna claim it that Eustis, Florida started bluegills.
All right, I'll try and work that into a video. Maybe call it a bluegill just for you.
Hey, a word. What do you say? What did Michael say? Word's a third.
A word's a third.
Yeah, word's a third, dude. So we're in, man. Look, you and I have created two businesses here. Imagine what we could do with more time.
We got a new video about bluegills and a song called "What the Hell Is Going On." Right there.
Coming to a TV near you.
I love it, man. We had a great time. We'll have you stay on until once we shut this down here. But we appreciate you coming on. I think this is exactly what we wanted to do, is just hang out, chat. Glad to know you're doing good and that you got some new music coming out. Where can everyone find you?
Man, thank y'all for having me. You can find me at Michael Ray Music. That's Instagram and Twitter, and I think Music Michael Ray on Facebook, and website's Michael Ray Music. So check everything out there. We'll also just be taking everybody behind the scenes at the video shoot coming up and the photo shoot coming up all over Instagram. So you follow us on Michael Ray Music on Instagram, and we'll take you along behind the scenes for the video for Whiskey and Rain.
Sweet, man.
Perfect. I am so stoked to hear Whiskey and Rain. So be looking for his new single coming out soon. And thanks for coming on, man.
Man, I appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all.
All right, guys. That was our interview with Michael Ray. We had a blast. It was actually sad that we had to let him go.
Yeah.
I felt like we could have talked to him for another 45 minutes.
Easily.
Easily. And so that was fun. I had to give him some shit about missing
Rodeo.
the rodeo line.
Yep.
But I mean, that's what I like that's just what these artists are, just normal people.
Yep.
And I think like Garth Brooks even said, it's funny, this is Garth Brooks' song. He's like, when I'm performing, like my guitar's not plugged into anything. I'm not actually up there playing the guitar,
Right.
like whatever. But it was just funny. He just starts strumming and he's like, he finishes the intro and then he just kept doing the intro and then he like full blown stopped and then he panicked. It was like, someone just say the line in the chat. Because the amount of times that my mind's gone blank when I'm trying to shoot a video or like even here on the podcast, you guys have probably could tell. It's just there's like right away you're calm and then when you still are blank, panic mode. But yeah.
Do you guys remember the video we shot for the Koozie promo? Female line. Female one more time.
Oh yeah.
Line.
Ryan had to get his line
Feed it to me one
fed
more
to
time.
him.
Talk about forgetting shit.
You got that line fed to you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that day, Ryan.
Yes. So even the greats make mistakes.
Oh yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Ryan, I didn't want to interrupt Michael, but we got to take him on a turkey hunt next year.
Oh yeah.
Or he has to take us on a turkey hunt.
Well, it sounds like
One of the two.
sounds like he's had good luck with guides. What if he had a professional guide? What if we take him out and he drops one night one? We're better than professional guides.
All right, let's cool it, guys. You're not that good.
Well,
I remember
We might just have to try it out.
You guys literally were complaining in the bunker that like you never even got close to shooting one when you guys went.
I shot a turkey.
I
It's
didn't.
just every time I brought Ryan, we got blanked.
So
Yeah.
So leave Ryan at home and you and Michael.
You and Michael go out. Yep.
Okay,
Maybe
well-
I'll film. I'll film from across the field.
from a
maybe.
distance.
Yep.
Yeah,
We'll
you
get you
gotta
the
stay
ultra
away.
zoom lens.
Yep. But the more,
No, you go ahead.
I just felt like the more we started talking to him, the more we found out that we have so much in common with this guy, even if he's from Florida. Big bluegill guy, Miles.
I was just that's what I was gonna bring up. One of the highlights is he's a Busch Lake guy. He says he still brings it on the road with him.
Yep.
Calls them bluegills. We're gonna have to start calling them bluegills, I guess.
I like that.
Yeah, you might as well pass me a bluegill here.
You got to add that on to what is it? Blue smoothie, blue yummy, blue gill.
No, what you got to do is you reach in the cooler, you're like, oh God, act like your arm got bit by a bluegill. Oh, I think it's a bluegill. Pull out a beer and chug it. That's actually a great dad joke for your next barbecue, Tyler.
You open them up with the pliers instead of open it up with your hands.
Yep.
Oh man, this one's really in there.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Miles, he also did say that he's gonna bring you up on the stage when he comes around our area to tour.
What a terrible decision by him.
You up on stage. Well, you started off your career by introducing David Lee Murphy. I think you take that next jump and you just hop right on stage.
Hop right on stage. Tell him to just keep my mic at a very low volume so you can still faintly hear me, but just keep me low.
You're going to be like the little brother playing video games. You're just going to leave your mic unplugged.
Yeah,
And you're going to think everyone can hear you.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm excited. I hope we can have him on again at some point, as well as some other country artists. I think that's a phenomenal group of people that would be fun to chat with on the podcast. So let us know what you thought of the interview. Hopefully we'll be doing more interviews here in the future. It's tough with COVID, but I think the Zoom call worked great.
Yep.
And so Ryan, why don't you close us down here?
Guys, thanks again for listening into episode 82 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. We hope you enjoyed one of the most electric interviews we've done so far with country music star Michael Ray. We had a lot of fun. Like Miles said, hopefully we can get him on again here in the near future. Don't forget, the new fishing shirts are on the website, oubetcha.com. The website is heavily open. Everything on the store is available. So go check it out on the website. You guys are going to need to get them crew necks, them sweatshirts for this crisp fall air. And before we go, guys, I'd just like to thank Gina's Designs of the Heartland. Gina's Designs of the Heartland handcrafts, hand paints our wood pine signs on the website. We got the Nectar of the Gods signs, the blue, the orange, the black, all kinds of different options for you guys to enjoy in your man cave, your garage, anywhere you're going to be enjoying a nice cold Busch latte. You can find Gina's Designs of the Heartland at etsy.com/shop/GDOT Heartland or on our website, oubetcha.com. Miles, I am Ryan the t-shirt guy.
And I'm Miles the You Betcha guy. May your ranch always be runny. May your bluegills always be cold. Cheers, Ryan. Wow. Oh my God, that's cold. That's awesome.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.